right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Pokemon. I wanted to make a video as we kind of wrap up this year with Metazoo. It's almost the end of the year. We just got this big letter from Metazoo, from Mike, kind of this apology, kind of this explanation, kind of this acknowledgement of wrongdoing and all the things that they've done wrong. But they said in that letter that one of the reasons why they wanted to get that letter out when they did was because they're about to come out with their 2024 roadmap. So I think while pretty much all of us in the Metazoo community can pretty much unanimously agree that that letter was a net positive, it was what we wanted to hear. They said a lot of good things. It was well worded. The tone of the letter was good. And the promise that it really brings is good for the Metazoo fans and the Metazoo community at large. I think we all agree on that. But while I think all those things are great, I think we need to keep in mind as they reveal this 2024 roadmap that they're coming out with, all the things that they did wrong in 2023. And we need to come at this with not an overly optimistic approach. I know a lot of people, I saw a lot of comments saying, well, Metazoo's back. They're going to do good in 2024. My confidence is now restored in the brand because of this letter and all the promises they made. I think we really need to go into this with a really grain of salt type of approach with everything that they say and everything that's going to be contained in this 2024 roadmap. So in this video, this kind of year in review, I want to review the 2023 roadmap that Metazoo came out with, of which there were 18 items listed. It didn't include everything that happened this year because it was an early version of the roadmap. There were 18 items listed, of which half of them never happened at all in 2023. And the ones that did happen, I'd say the majority of them were late or kind of a half-assed attempt at what they were supposed to be. So I think that's important to keep in mind. So we're going to go over that roadmap. But I just want to say the reason why I think we should keep that in mind is because Legacy is not included on that roadmap. But I remember saying back this summer, months ago, before all this stuff really started to boil over, people were fed up with Metazoo this summer. And I remember in the video, when they announced Legacy, in the video that I made about it, I remember saying they've got this release date, promised for September, promised to ship in December, listed on Legacy. I was doubtful in that video. And I remember saying in that video, if they don't release this on time, if this is not started shipping in September, we need to constantly remind them of this and constantly hold them to it. So while Legacy isn't on this list, I think it's important that now that we're halfway through December now, we're across the halfway point. Next week is Christmas. Legacy was postponed, promised for Christmas. We still don't have it. So until we get Legacy, I think we need to continue to push the issue that we haven't gotten it. I think it's very important that we keep reminding them because this is how change is actually made. I think it's important that when you look at the letter that came out, I don't think they would have came out with that letter had there not been so much pushback from the Metazoo community online. Whether it was comments, whether it was posts, whether it was Facebook pages or Instagram groups or Discord comments or Discord pages or YouTube videos, which I think especially after the Hello Kitty set, the Karami set, I need to stop calling it Hello Kitty, but especially after that disaster of Hello Kitty, the TCG player, slashing and burning everything in half, that was the catalyst for a lot of videos in the past couple of weeks. And most of those videos were overtly negative because there was really nothing positive happening in Metazoo, so there weren't any positive videos. So I think that as we go into this coming year's roadmap, we need to remember that the reason, I think the reason that this letter came out was all the negative sentiment, the concerns, the questions from the Metazoo community. I really do think that videos like this, videos like mine, videos like yours, comments like yours, posts like yours, that's what pushed this letter to come out, and that's what's going to push change. And a lot of you guys know I've got a much bigger channel, a bodybuilding channel, Nick Strength and Power, over 1 million subscribers. They're the biggest bodybuilding coverage channel in the bodybuilding industry. And I can say that similar things have happened, especially in my early days of bodybuilding YouTube. It was bodybuilding YouTubers and kind of the online community that really pushed for different things that led to significant change within the organization. One thing that I can remember is, 2016, 2015-ish, we were really pushing for, these guys are getting too big. There were a lot of bodybuilders dying. There were a lot of health issues that bodybuilders were having. These guys were weighing 300 pounds on stage. And we kept saying there needs to be some kind of new rule, some kind of new guideline, maybe a new division that's more like the 70s and the 80s, more like an Arnold Schwarzenegger type of physique, more healthy, less drugs, less size. It shouldn't be just all about being the biggest freak that you can be. And that led to a brand new division being formed in the IFBB about a year later after all these videos came out kind of addressing this topic. And that division was Classic Physique. And some of you guys might have no idea what I'm talking about, but you guys know now, over 5 years later, Classic Physique is one of the biggest and most popular divisions in the IFBB, and probably one of the biggest changes they ever made to the organization competitively. And it was brought on by the online community suggesting that change. So you guys might think that whatever you say online might be insignificant, or they might not hear it, or they might not see it. I promise you they do. I promise you that it does lead to change, and if the concerns are legitimate criticisms, and it's not hate, it's not negativity, you have legitimate reason to be upset, or you have a legitimate point, or you have a legitimate criticism, I promise they do see it and they do consider it. And if they're a good company, it will lead to change. So I want you guys to remember that as we look at this roadmap. So let's look at this 2023 roadmap. All the things that did not happen that were promised. Let's pull it up. So as far as the timeline for some of these things, Revive, UFO, and Seance, that happened. I don't remember if it was January, but it did happen. So we'll say that happened. Streamer kits, obviously, a lot of people are still waiting on those. Streamer kits 1.0 never shipped. A lot of people paid for them, never got them. Metazoo, the Metazoo Foundation Gala, that did happen. Metazoo Tops Chrome, that did happen, and it was a big success. I think it's worth pointing out that it was a big success as well. Native, that happened. The GlitchBit Arcade series, as far as I know, this was supposed to be a playable version of Metazoo that was like an 8-bit arcade game. As far as I know, that never happened. I never saw anything about it. If I'm wrong about that, let me know in the comments below. Revive Native, obviously that never happened. We never got a native version of Revive, and Metazoo has since said they're going to stop the skateboard partnerships. HeroQuest 3.0, that also never happened. We got 1.0 and 2.0, and I think this is another big topic of debate. Is Steve Aoki still involved with Metazoo in the capacity that he was before? Because Steve Aoki just came out with a HeroQuest collector's box that has trading cards in it, but they're his own trading cards that he made, has nothing to do with Metazoo, and that just came out, and that would have been a great opportunity to do this HeroQuest 3.0 Metazoo set. That never happened, and it doesn't look like there's going to be any future HeroQuest Metazoo collabs that we can look forward to. And again, some of these things that did happen on this list were just events that Metazoo was supposed to show up to, and they did, like Comic-Con in July. Cryptid Nation Book 1, I don't know if that's a direct reference to the manga, but obviously we haven't gotten a completed book. We've gotten chapters of the manga that were very short, just a few pages, kind of low effort. A lot of people thought they were kind of half-assed. We did get those, but it wasn't in July, and it wasn't a complete book, so I'm not going to count that. Animated shorts, I haven't seen any animated shorts, so we're going to mark that off. War, obviously that's got pushed to next year. That was supposed to be August. We didn't get that, so we obviously also did not get the Revive War collab. The Metazoo Online TCG client technically has happened, the Cryptid Clash stuff. A lot of people are underwhelmed by it, and it doesn't seem to be super big. SCP, pushed back to next year. Comic-Con they showed up to. Obviously, Streamer Kits 2.0 hasn't showed up. 7Cs at the very bottom. God knows when we're going to get that, but that obviously didn't happen. I guess the Metazoo Comics is a separate thing from the book, so I guess we'll mark that off too. I guess we could call that the manga, right? I don't know. We'll count one of them. We'll count the comics, and we won't count the book one. So that's the roadmap. Again, not including Legacy and not including the Karami set. Legacy supposed to come in September, delayed till next year. So the main point of reviewing this really is just to remind everybody the amount of failures that Metazoo had in 2023. And a lot of these failures, things that didn't come out, things that got pre-ordered, things that got pushed back, a lot of them people haven't been refunded. A lot of them there's been no explanation. A lot of the things that we still haven't gotten, we have no idea when we are going to get or why we haven't gotten them yet. Our best understanding so far is that the Sanrio Hello Kitty set pushed everything back. This also doesn't include the Arby's collab that was supposed to be such a big deal, was supposed to be happening apparently this year, and it looks like it might not be happening. The other thing as well was we heard these rumors. They weren't really rumors. They were directly from Mike commenting in stream saying we were going to get another top set. a Nightfall Sapphire Topps Chrome set to come out around Halloween. That never happened. So there's a lot of weird, empty promises, a lot of just questions around all the things that didn't happen. So as we get prepared to see whatever this 2024 roadmap holds, I really would caution you guys to just be cautious. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are. I think a lot of you guys have probably smartened up now when it comes to pre-orders, when it comes to trusting deadlines, when it comes to believing everything Metazoo says. But we didn't even get half of what was promised in last year's roadmap. So I would encourage people, whenever this roadmap comes out for 2024, not to get overly excited, not to be overly excited by the letter that came out, and just look at everything very cautiously, and really hold them to whatever deadlines are in this 2024 outline. Really hold them to it. Really push the issue. Really push that we still get Legacy, because I don't think we're going to get it in December. I think that's pretty clear as of right now. We didn't get a Halloween set. The Karami set was Halloween themed. That was late. We got to open up that around Christmas time. And then we didn't get a Christmas set this year. Legacy, push, but it's just 2023 was a mess. And I think overall that this roadmap from 2023 is a really good example and indicator of how messy it was. So hopefully when we get this 2024 roadmap, I hope that whatever we see on it isn't over-promising and under-delivering. And hopefully at the end of 2024, we can look at that roadmap and say, okay, we got most, if not everything on this roadmap, and most, if not everything on it, came on time with no major issues, and the core set didn't have a major TCG player drama, or the boxes weren't mappable, or there wasn't some like weird low level of hits, whatever the case may be. I hope that it goes as seamless and as smooth as possible, but if it doesn't, I really feel like the Metazoo creators that are still out there need to push the issue, remind people of what they promised, and remind Metazoo of what they promised, and not to be too easily forgiving just because we got that letter. So keep all that in mind. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What do you guys think is in store for 2024? Let me know in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe. Nick Strength and Pokemon, signing out.